I'm Mia, and today I am recreating that Zendaya Odyssey premiere makeup look. But no, if you're on any sort of the beauty side of the internet or the Zendaya side of the internet, you have probably seen this look from the London premiere of the Odyssey. By the time this gets posted, you're gonna be like, oh my god, you know, this is so late in conjunction to everything. It's the 13th as I filmed this, so it's still fairly recent, but I just haven't had time to do it. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. And let's get into it. Sorry, I forgot. But this eye look is actually so very simple, but sometimes the simplest things look the best. This is the transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics, and I'm gonna start off with just, you know, a little structure, because there's, you know, some shading. So we're gonna start off with Toffee on a very large fluffy brush, and just gonna do very light wash of this, because obviously Zendaya and I are two different skin tones as it is, but there's not too much going on. It's just like a soft little, like, snatched. So we're gonna like blend this to high hell, get this up and under too. Again, not dipping into any more, just doing a little, and then repeat on the other eye. But I mean, Zendaya's makeup always looks good, but ever since she started using Ernesto as like her main makeup artist, everything's just been like so perfect. And like, I followed him for the past year, like, at least. So like, this isn't a new discovery to me of, oh my god, Ernesto is fantastic, blah 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 blah. I knew. Ooh. Sorry, broken mic. But like, I know that he's a fantastic celebrity makeup artist. Like, he's Jesus. Also, wearing a white shirt to do my makeup for the first time. This is, so I'm hoping and praying that everything will be fine. And we're gonna drag this under a little. Again, go all up. Again, we are not dipping back into anything. We are just using what is on the brush. Again, just so we can have some structure, some shape, a little bit of definition. And then again, do the tiniest bit of toffee mixed with the tiniest bit of mocha. Again, just for some definition, gonna put that right on the outer edge, a little underneath. But once we get that placed down, we're gonna blend back out with that original brush, just so there's some real cohesiveness. And again, just, this is gonna be very, very simple for the time being, but still want to keep the center kind of open, because even though we will be putting white, there's very obviously not something too heavy on there, so we just want a little. But for now, I'm not gonna apply this straight to my eyes. This is from NYX Professional Makeup. This is the Jumbo Eye Pencil. This is the shade Milk, which is white. But I'm gonna put some onto the back of my hand, and then with a little brush, I might go in with some, with like an actual shadow, but I at least want something down. And we don't want this to be like a very visibly obvious like cut crease. We want this blended, we want this soft, there are no edges. So definitely gonna go over it with a powder, but since I am so pale, I do need like a cream base for this kind of thing. And we're gonna do it again on the other eye. I know, what a wild concept. But again, this way, putting it onto the back of the hand and then applying it with a brush, we can get the more blended edges than if we were to just apply it straight from the stick. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. And see, we're not even close to done, but this is already looking a little like lit from within, you know? And then this is from Glen Bunny. This is the m.ph Rhode palette. I'm going in with the shade Oxygen because it's white, but like there's like the tiniest hint of blue, like a little bit of coolness in here. And it is actually my favorite white that Blend Bunny does. I don't like the white that's in the whatchamacallit palette, the blends palette. But we're gonna focus most of it right in the inner corner, but we're still gonna blend. So there's that little, see, like the eyeshadow is gonna be so easy. My main thing is gonna be trying to get the tones of blush down, because obviously, again, her and I have two very different skin tones, so I also don't have any of the actual products used because it was all Charlotte Tilbury, which I find funny because she's in a little bit of a issue right now because I think she's bullying dupes, I think. And she's like, oh, you know, if I could price them lower, I would, blah, blah. That way, you know, dupes wouldn't have to exist. But I'm like, girl, everything I've tried from Charlotte Tilbury, I've never been thrilled with, if we're gonna be honest. So, pshaw. But see, it just gives a little bit of dimension because, like, it's white, but, like, there's something that's just a petite. Alright, then back to the transition palette. And with an angled brush, I'm going in with some of Coffee Beans. And the most important part is the inner corner. You do need that little pointed bit. And I do understand why they did little pointed bit. Because obviously this is for the Odyssey. She's playing Athena. So the little pointed bit can resemble, in fact, an owl's beak. I mean, I don't know if that's the actual thing or they just went, ooh, Zendaya looks good like this. I'm choosing to believe they went, ooh, hee hee, like a bird beak. That's what I'm choosing to believe. I usually don't do this kind of stuff just because I feel like it doesn't look, not the best on me, but just my eyes are uneven and this kind of just draws attention to that. So we're gonna do a little bit of that. One eye is a little uneven, and I know hers is turned a little more downwards, but that's just the way her eyes are shaped, so I'm just doing mine the way mine are shaped. One would think, right? So I'm gonna get a little bit right here as well. Same thing with here. And it does look like there's some like in the waterline. So I am going to go in with a little bit of a brown liner after this, but I just want a little, because this will also help, besides the fact that I like doing my little thingy, this will also help it look a little more defined, and then put a little bit, also make the lashes look a little fuller. So, a little bit of that. And then this is from Urban Decay. This is the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Whiskey. We're just going to do a little all the way around, but we're going to layer up like there. See? Because usually I need to do 2 layers on this anyways. So, it's a little more focused back here anyway. So, I hate watery eyes. But the eyes, like I said, so simple. I just need to find some lashes and I will be back in a second. I'm ready. I'm back with some lashes on. I know I use these lashes all the time, but I also feel like they're the closest ones out of what I have to the look. So yeah. So I'm going to first go in with the Danessa Max Beauty Yummy Skin Glow Serum in the shade Main Squeeze, just so I can hydrate my skin a little and give it a little bit more of a bronzy effect. I do have a pimple going. It never officially popped. I've had a pimple patch on for like 3 days. I took said pimple patch off so I could actually, you know, do my makeup and the makeup would actually stick, because makeup doesn't stick to pimple patches, which I find funny. But it's flattened enough that it doesn't look like a unicorn horn on my head again, so that's better. But I'm gonna rub this in, do a little bit of that. Just do a quick dry down, because it is warm and I have my fan on, obviously, because it's warm. And then this is from Kulfi Beauty. This is the Double Life Serum Primer. Surprise, surprise. But I'm really doing my best not to get anything on my shirt because the first day I had it, I got some tomato on it because I was eating a sandwich. So try not to ruin it. It's funny, this shirt is apparently like from a brand that regularly, I just charged this battery. Regularly sell shirts at like at least $70, and I paid $15 for this at TJ Maxx, so shout out. I literally fully charged. I had literally charged both batteries yesterday and I haven't used them since, so I don't know why it died, but whatever. This is from m.ph by Phillips. This is Le Skin Weightless Serum Foundation in the shade Fair 30N. Want to do a lightweight or lighter coverage foundation for this look. Gonna really work this into my brush because I also don't want any foundation falling onto my shirt because that's where it's gonna get me. If anything goes wrong, it's because of the foundation, because that's how life works. So we're just gonna, most of the coverage is gonna stay on the outer portions of the face, blend in, and then I'll use a concealer, obviously, but that way it doesn't look too cakey. I will also set my face after all my cream products because that base is so gorgeous and just perfectly, just like, it's that beautiful, perfect, soft matte while still being a little glowy. So I have a plan, and then we're gonna, oh no. Also, my father only just realized I'm going to New York, and at the time of this being posted, I will be in New York. But again, today is July 13th. I leave for my trip July 25th. And I've been talking about it. And be like, oh, we talked about it. Because I was like, oh, I'm like, you know, not financially responsible, blah, blah. He's like, He's like, it's fine. I said something today because, I got an email from the Cheesecake Factory about, ooh, you know, free birthday slice of dessert with any purchase because it's gonna be my birthday in a few days. Just doing a quick bounce over. But you know, I was like, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? I'm like, I don't want to do the cake slice that I usually get because, you know, in a few weeks I'll have an even better slice. My father's like, where are you getting cake? I'm like, this place Claude in the West Village in New York. He's like, we talked about this. We made the joke about you coming down on the Monday so you can go to your stupid hamburger place. He's like, wow, I really don't remember any of this at all. I'm like, and then this is from Patrick Ta Beauty. This is the Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Concealer. I'm gonna do a little there. He's like, I really don't remember this at all. I'm like, do you think? I'm like, you were there when I was watching the Tonys, and every time a performance came on, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see that. Or I even was like, oh, JCL Strauss is gonna be in Every Brilliant Things. I'm gonna get a ticket. He's like, wow, I really don't remember any of that. And I'm like, yeah, apparently. So, he's like, how long are you going? I'm like, well, like, the original plan was just, you know, a few days, and then the old manager happened, and I went, you know what? I need time away. He's like, you know what? Understandable. He's like, wow. He's like, I really don't remember any of this. I'm like, it's not like I kept this a secret from you. I'm like, sorry, I'm done with this tiny little brush. I'm like, dudage. I'm like, I even told him, like, wow, we really need to hope that, you know, you don't take Jack my brother, for any of the doubles, otherwise Bridget's not gonna be able to eat dinner. I'm like, I know I brought that up, because again, for the dog to eat at a normal time. My brother cannot do any late night doubles with them. I know he's forgetful, but like, damn. But I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. I'm really hoping this isn't the new reformulated one, because I bought this one at TJ Maxx. After I broke my old one. And I'm not 100% sure. It feels balmier than usual. Could be the heat. No, this is the original shade, thank God. Because I saw somebody say that it went orange, and I'm like, wow, surprise, surprise. No, it's the same shade. Look at that nose. So, thank God. But I was saying that, I'm like, I know I've gotten into Broadway a lot the past few years, but like, do you really think I would have been judging the Rocky Horror cast? So I even said, I'm like, I really don't have any faith in the current Rocky Horror show cast. But I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be there, they're gonna be performing, I'm gonna see it. He's like, yeah, he's like, that makes sense. He's like, who is it again? He's like, he's like, I don't know any of those people. I'm like, I know you don't. He knew like 3 names. I think it was Rachel Jett, Luke Evans, and Stephanie Shu. But it's just, I'm like, we talked about this so many times. Alright, this is from Persona Cosmetics. This is the blush multi-stick in the shade Bloom. Gonna take some onto the back of my hand, just a little. Like when I say this is gonna be like the least amount of this blush I've ever used in my life. I mean, I'm gonna really work that into the back of my hand to my brush. And we're gonna do a light little for the center. But like literally so light. So little. Like, you wouldn't even know. I'm sorry, I have not looked at this photo in a few minutes actually. So, I'm gonna keep that focused, like, literally at so much of an angle. And again, blushes are gonna look slightly different on her and I because we are different skin tones. We're gonna use different blushes anyways. And then this is from Rhode. This is the Pocket Blush in the shade Sprinkle. So, same thing. I'm gonna put more of that onto the back of my hand. But, yes, it's so hot. It's like melting. But we're gonna use the same brush. And now we're gonna do a little more up here. Gonna get that one. So it was a base. Gonna do repeat. And then the tiniest bit on the bridge of the nose, like the tiniest bit. Not gonna do my chin, I know. But we're gonna. And then that is gonna be it for the creams, but now we do have powders to use. I feel like I haven't used it in a while, but this is from Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Bake Loose Bacon and Sand Powder in the shade Sugar Cookie. This is the fragrance-free version. This is also the old packaging, obviously. Oh no. So we're gonna very carefully put some into the cap. Because even though this is white powder and it's a white shirt, I still don't want too much going on, you know? You dig, you vibe. And we're just gonna set the entire face. Because again, she has definitely more of like a beautiful, like soft matte thing going on. So we're just gonna take that brush hair away. But we're gonna, like, we still want some healthy shine peeking through, but we're not looking glowy, we're not looking dewy. Also, my bangs are too clean once again, and they are not staying clipped. And now, because I feel like every time I set my face, I dull down my blush a little, I'm gonna go in with some from Joah Beauty. This is the Air Light Soft Powder Blush in the shade Warm Poppy. It's kind of like a peachy pink tone. It's very, very light. Just do a little, see? Literally so light, so delicate. And then I haven't used this in a while, and then I might break out, but if it's not moldy or smelling weird, powders don't expire. This is from Rare Beauty. I don't remember what the exact name is, but it's the like kind of shimmery powder blush in the shade Sheer. So figure, even though there's no direct highlighter on the face, they did use one of the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty wands, I think. So this way, there's, even though there's no highlighter, there's still a little bit of, you know, shine and reflect, but like not. Again, a little over the bridge of the nose. See, look at us, we're twins basically. No. Alrighty, and then this is from MAC. This is the lip pencil in the shade Cool Spice. I know. Just gonna do a little because there's not too much going on the lips. So I'm gonna overline like I do because that's just how. I'm gonna but on the bright side, you can't get upset about me doing a lip liner and gloss because that's what the photo shows. Then we're just gonna do a little, just a little bit of that. That again. And then I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner in the shade Deep Taupe just for some dimension. And do a little, literally just Cupid's bow and underneath. And again, just gonna just a little. And then quite literally it just looks like a clear gloss, so I'm gonna go in with the Buxom Plump Shot Collagen Infused Lip Serum. This is the shade Filler. It's just clear because it's glossy but like in a balmy way, so it's not like overpowering. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. Alright, I need to go fix my bangs, but I should be back in a second. Alrighty, but this is the finished look. I know this is such an easy, simple look, but there's something about like a matte white inner corner that really does it for me. I'm gonna be so honest here. Like, obviously Zendaya is fantastic and perfect and beautiful as she is, but like this makeup look is just so versatile. I feel like it looks good on basically everybody, no matter your facial features. But yeah, like I'm not upset about this. Again, very simple, very easy, but she's beautiful, she's perfect, she's stunning. And Cat's the Jellicle Ball is closing August 8th, which, I'm gonna be honest, was the main catalyst for me wanting to go back to New York in July. Because like there had been rumblings, there had been rumors. You know, I'm deep in the trenches these days. Can't wait to see the Sweaty Oracle post about this. But I got the email. I'm like, but it's on my list of things to see in New York. Maybe I'll cancel one of my performances and just see it twice. Who's stopping me? I blame Rocky Horror Show for this for some reason. Don't know why, but I blame them. But I should have seen it coming. I checked the seats for my show, and I'm like, these are still not close to sold out. It's just, unfortunately, people still have a bad connotation of Cats the musical. And queer people aren't allowed to express joy and proudness. So it makes sense that this is closing earlier than they were supposed to. Either way, off topic, this is not about the Odyssey at all. But shout out to the Odyssey. I will be seeing that before I go. Don't know how, don't know where. It's happening. I've got 2 Greek mythology tattoos on my arm, so it's not me being like, oh my god, you know, all these cast members. So, yeah. But yeah, this is the finished look.